Haha, I tricked you. I said hello before I started recording the VOD. Now
No!
I'm recording the VOD. Hello, everyone. Hello. And welcome back to another GM stream with...
I quit.
I knew you were going to... As soon as I spoke, I knew you were going to do it. So
You know me so well.
I've got to like, the workarounds, you know? The live audience can experience you yelling butts at full volume.
Starbutts.
But not the VOD audience. Welcome once again, friends, to a GM prep stream. Another one. We're only halfway through our GM prep streams. Just so for everybody who's like, we've hyped this up so much, we're gonna keep hyping it up. So
The hype will not, like these streams, the hype will not crest with the beginning of the campaign.
No.
This is just it's all part of it, and the hype will never stop. So y'all have to hold on to your butts.
I once again, of course, have to shout out the Star Wars Desperate Gamble Discord, who have been just like, there's a conversation in there all the time. Like, I go away and I come back and there's a new message, and like, whether it's like relevant to the campaign or just Star Wars nerdery in general, I'm always excited to be like, people are talking about stuff in this place that we've made. So, you know, big ups to the Star Wars Desperate Gamble Discord.
Heck yeah.
Who by the way have not at all stopped generating NPCs and
stop, won't stop,
and like all kinds of stuff.
I do want to jump in and talk about that though, because as we were talking in our pre-pro meeting about like what we want to cover, like life affects art affects life. And we were like, man, everyone's coming up with these like amazing NPCs. And I think the fact that some of our focus today is going to be involved in like fleshing out the sort of like quest farm of Madame Hirani's International House of
Pancakes.
Pleasures. I forgot what the other word was. International Hirani of Pancakes.
International Hirani of Pancakes, indeed.
Perfect. Nailed it. That we were like, we want to use and sort of follow in the way that you GM for a table, we are GMing for it, like the audience's interest too. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So we're like, okay, we're chasing your fun. If we love NPCs, and like, let's talk about how to use them and where to put them and what to do with them. And how do we tell our table that isn't with us in this moment, like this is a special thing for us and not them, like how do we get them just as excited about the NPCs as we are?
So like what I think, like speaking about fleshing out stuff in Madame Hirani's, Aabria's like compare it to, you enter a tavern, there is a table of gnomes, there are two orcs arm wrestling, there's a spooky ranger guy in the back, and there's a dwarf who is tinkering with some kind of ticking device, you know? And then, like, what we want to do is we want each of those people to be capable of progressing the story if the players engage with them, because we know the players will attach themselves to some random shit.
Of course.
Like, because that's the way
there will be a little boogie there, and it will be everyone's favorite for no good reason. And
so like, you know, we've already got like Mongum, for example, like with the labor union and stuff like that, who I'm sure has grievances that he could air to any person who wishes to listen. And of course Madame Hirani herself, who is a contact in and of herself, a force of her own. And then like we want to sort of, you know, flesh it out to more and random, if you know what I mean. Because I want to be able to just like, oh, I need an NPC to like fill this space. I pull this NPC from stuff people have made and put them in there, kind of thing. That's just.
I also really like the idea of like basically building out like a Pokemon deck of all of our like big NPCs from the Discord, like the ones that will be like put in the game. And then during character gen, telling every player like, here's the group of regulars. Who's your friend?
Yeah.
Who's your enemy? Like, who did you fuck around and find out with?
And if you make friends with some people, other people won't want to be your friends, you know.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. What we want to do is, and I was talking about this in the pre-pro, like Aabria was saying, is like no first arc of any campaign jumps right to the main plot.
Yes, exactly.
No first arc of any campaign in existence hooks you up with the good shit right away from like the big bad villains. You know what I mean? What happens is you spend your first, 5 or 6 sessions acclimating and learning what it is like your character is about, because you're still learning them presumably.
Yeah.
And what it is the environment is about and how to interact with that, right? I like our first mission idea of like the ruins and the kid and the noble family or whatever. But we're definitely going to use that. Because it is, again, just like not connected to the main issue. It says like, well, how do you guys feel about X thing?
Exactly.
Which I mean entirely, like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that I've been involved in generally has been very player reactive. I don't know if that's like a proper way to describe it, but like the plot happens whether the players want to or not. And the players either engage with it and have fun or don't care about it and have to deal with it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of like your players are reacting to stuff that is happening around them. Like the lead-in action is like, you're in the middle of this thing. Where are you when this happens? Or, like, this NPC is doing X thing. What do you do in response? Like, I want to give them a little bit more ability to be like, well, we are an agency. We have agency as well, and we can make choices based on what it is we need or want, that are separate from the world telling us we have to do a certain thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For the record, the phrase I have always used to talk about that is, to borrow from like economics, is elastic versus inelastic narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm just, my brain is on that a little bit.
Hell yeah.
The other thing I said I'd talk about a little bit today, or that we will talk about a little bit today, is
no, it'll only be you. I refuse to talk about it.
Well, you will. Is is wildlife. So we want to talk about Vodian wildlife a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the things I was reading up on the combat a little bit, like sort of mechanically, and one of the things that I found was that thick fog gives you a
that was with you pronounce that with 2 C's. That's not on me.
Gives you a 2 like circumstance die disadvantage to like ranged combat, basically. So like firing blasters into like the fog is gonna be a whole thing. Everybody on every side is just gonna be blind as hell, just like
that's amazing,
shooting at each other. So like combat on the surface is gonna be interesting.
I love it. But I also like that we built in weather patterns where like there can be sudden clearing.
It can be clear, yeah. Or what have you, yeah.
If we're just like, no one's hitting anything.
Yeah.
It gets heavy and the fog moves. Please finish this combat, you turds.
Also, this game has a mechanic for shooting your friends by accident.
Yes! This is my favorite thing. Oh my God.
If your friends are involved in melee combat and you roll a failure or a disadvantage, I can't remember which one it is, that is automatically applied to hitting them instead of the enemy if they're engaged in melee combat. And you shoot into it.
Yeah. I actually really like building a world in which like it is actually pretty stupid to fire your gun in fog. Like in the same way that you like don't shoot a gun on a plane, like the sort of like understood rule if you've been on VOD for any amount of time is like, don't bring a blaster to a fog fight. Well, you're going to shoot yourself or your friends.
And this is one of the reasons, for example, we have like the fog raiders who all look like they have vibro axes because they're Gamorreans, you know what I mean? Like, they just hang out there. And we have like the stim hounds have like truncheons or like stun batons, you know what I mean? Like melee weapons for that kind of like action, because melee is less affected. Obviously, the vision is not going to matter as much when you're this close to a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in smoochable range, it's fine.
If you could touch lips, the fog obstruction does not matter.
The fog is not a block.
Oh, something I should definitely mention before we like move on to actually talking about stuff rather than categories of stuff we want to talk about, is Jeevesy wrote fan fiction for a campaign that doesn't exist yet.
Do you know how happy I am about this?
It's so good. It's such good.
Do you know how happy I am about this?
Yeah, that was Jeevesy in chat. Yeah.
We got to do something. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I'm just
how it triggers, but we have to.
Go ahead. My plan is just to take everything they wrote and just make it canon for like a little while ago, like a house burning down and like
I hear you, and I raise you dramatic readings of fan fiction. If we ever like get through all of our prep and we're like, we still got like 30 minutes left in the stream.
Let's read some fan fiction.
Yeah, we'll get like a cool like crackling fireplace background, put on a cozy robe, and read some fanfic.
Yeah. But I thought it was a great characterization of both of our villains based on what we came up with last episode. So very, very impressive. Very nice.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And obviously,
thank you so much.
We've got a bunch of people like doing cool art of like various NPCs in the Discord and so on. Butt Prince has been prolific.
I'm pretty sure their hand has fallen off at this point, but that's okay. We'll give them a new one.
Yeah. They made a creature that I want to talk about for our wildlife section a little bit on their latest piece of art. And that is these like jelly frogs. They're like frogs made of like goop. You know, they're like weird little ooze frogs. And I feel like I need to add them.
Yes, please.
You know, like they seem great.
No, Robert.
No Kowakian monkey lizards, Robert.
No.
Aabria has disallowed them.
I am making a new rule about the fog of Vode. It is extra lethal to Kowakian monkey lizards.
Deadly to lizards. Got it.
Double lethal. You'll double die.
I can't just say lizards because there are lots of lizard species. And barabels and trandoshans and all kinds of lizards. But Bria doesn't like Kowakian monkey lizards for some reason. I don't know why.
Because they named one the dumbest thing you can name a thing.
Salacious Crumb is a great name.
No, it's an SAT word and a cackle, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh, boy. Okay, I'm going to swap us over to our gameplay overlay here for a second because I want to show you guys some stuff that I've...
This makes me laugh every time.
What? What makes you
Nothing.
laugh?
So I'm sorry, nothing.
All right. So we have a location, Madame Hirani's, which I've written like a general, sort of like a very, I'll have art for this eventually, but I have just like a general description. And then in the GM notes, we will add stuff about the people who live there. That's my plan. It's like in the GM notes, add these people are often at these tables, you know, like they have this to say about important stuff going on, and that'll be in the GM notes. The other thing that I have done is I have created an items of import list, and I made some stats for Zala's vibro knife, the special vibro knife.
Her cute gun, cute knife.
You may see that it is on a cool image template that was that I got from a character generating program called Ogdude's Character Creator or Ogdude's Character Generator and GM Tools. Now this is a third party, you know, program that has like how you make a character in this game. But all of the details in it refer to the books, so it's just like a tool for convenience, you know what I mean? But it lets you make your own items and make your own equipment and stuff and create like templates.
Are we going to talk about the inscription at all, or am I just going to sit here and die?
I made that one just on a whim. I thought it was pretty good.
It's so good. Y'all. Anyway, the whole thing is very cool.
But yeah, if you're interested in that particular tool, I can give you guys a link. I know I didn't prepare this, but there's the link to the tool that I used to make this little image for our item. In the same way that I could just write damage 2, critical 3, you know, skilled, whatever, and I can just type it in like regularly. It just looks a little better in like a little image macro. And then of course I have the planet section, which you've already seen, which has a section on Vode and the GM notes on Utico. Yeah. I haven't done any stat writing like I said I was gonna do because I have been thinking in a far more general term.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
The enemies are not statted out yet, but we could easily take, like Zala and stat her out today, or Jander and stat them out today if we wanted to. But we have other stuff to talk about, like I said, like the world setup, the general quest givers, and so forth, and the wildlife, because I keep missing out on wildlife, and I want to talk about wildlife. We warning that we only have 2 hours today. We've got a 2 hour stream, so like an hour and 40 minutes from now we'll be done. Because Aabria has to run off and do some stuff, so we're just gonna take it a little shorter today, like the first episode, and we'll figure it out. Yeah. So where does your mind take you to start, Aabria?
I really like this idea of beginning to build out early game. Like, I want to think about the first 3 months of our campaign, and I that lends itself so inexorably to like Madame Hirani's International House of Pancakes.
Yeah.
And
it's actually just called Madame Hirani's House of Pleasures for everybody who is just listening.
Yeah, it's called Mhop. Mhop.
Aabria will call it whatever she wishes for the entire stream. It's fine.
Madame Hirani's House of Pleasures is Mhop.
You are correct, and that's why you keep saying House of Pancakes. I'm just trying to make sure the joke is understood rather than just being a reference.
I am making a goof, but I will die by the idea of like, if you try to order food, like the primary food is
some kind of pancake
described but never named.
Some kind of pancake, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so you want to talk about like the first 3 months of the campaign.
I want to start with Hirani, because Hirani is like the neutral to party aligned group, and then via Hirani constantly brushing up against Yutiko, but not having to make choices about Yutiko like right away.
Yeah, because I think the thing is, it's like an individual establishment, right?
Yeah.
So Madame Hirani can take offers for jobs from anybody, and like farm them out to her resident bounty hunters and whoever else, right? I don't think she's necessarily like Yutiko aligned. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which I like as I'm just gonna open her character sheet, and just so we can note some stuff down here, like a neutral to I'll go back over to the gaming so you can see what I'm writing. Not that it really matters. Like a neutral to positive, like party interactor.
Yeah. You always want to start off with the I mean, I think there is value in some instances with the party, like beginning with like, you can only trust yourselves and like, go do this. But it's nice to say that like, we begin in a world that you have all achieved comfort within. So it's dangerous.
You understand the processes, right?
Exactly.
Of the world. Like, and we're not going to hide from you that like fog is dangerous or any of that stupid stuff that would be knowledge you would have if you lived here or even visited here. There are signs everywhere, I imagine.
100%.
So like neutral to positive party interactor. The thing I'd say is like confident in her own space.
Yep.
Not easily offended, I would say as well. Like not easily offended.
I want her to be a sort of secret, like hikikomori. Like she has zero interest in leaving her premises, and like has a massive personality shift if she is put out of her element.
I like that. Confident in her own space, almost to a fault. To a fault. Almost never leaves the premises of her establishment. And we'll also add like has like a runner, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
Gets menial tasks done by her employees.
Ooh, I love this idea. Sorry, I will always think about like the bright work before it just jumps.
No, I love it. I love it.
If there's a special signature like color that Hirani wears, anytime you can like very easily like spot her runner out in the world because they dress in that same color and sort of speak on her behalf, like outside of her space.
Yeah, like messenger kind of.
Exactly. So if you see someone with like bright red sleeves and you're like, okay, that's Hirani's runner.
Madame Hirani is a Twi'lek, right? Was the very important detail. And I believe they are blue, Their skin is blue.
Ooh, yay!
Like a not like a pale blue, and not like a deep, like somewhere in the middle, like regular blue. And I say this because Butt Prince drew art of Madame Hirani in the Discord.
Wait, did I miss it? Oh, crap!
Some time back, I believe that was Butt Prince. It's a little back. You'd have to scroll a little way in the NPC section. There's a blue Twi'lek out there.
It's okay. I'm not gonna do bad radio scrolling.
Here's the question. Do they have a droid or a pet? Maybe like for this runner, so to speak. Because you could have like a drone or like a mouse droid type droid.
That's true. It doesn't have to be yeah. Can we get like a cool walkie droid? I want a cool walk boy.
Let's make it a reprogrammed Federation battle droid, just like the brown boys.
Yeah.
Her runner for tasks is a reprogrammed Federation battle droid.
What a cutie!
Federation battle droid who speaks
painted blue.
who is painted blue, and speaks like a butler.
Oh my God! Yes, yay! Yes, yay!
Yeah. He's a blue painted Federation battle droid who speaks like a butler.
Heck yeah!
That's Madame Hirani's like outside runner, because he can be programmed. You know what I mean? He's gonna do what she says without fail.
I love it.
Which is important. It's an important factor. Okay.
There's no reason to not call him Roger.
There is no reason to not call him Roger, so I'll add Roger in brackets. His name is Blue. His name is Blue Roger.
Blue Roger.
Yeah. Perfect. I love him already. Okay, so I say not easily offended because I don't want the party to immediately ice themselves out of this place if one of them decides to do some threatening garbage or
100%
something, because she's the owner of the establishment. If they want to mess with the Trandoshan in the corner, you know what I mean, that's on them. But Madame Hirani's gonna be like, I own this place, I don't give a shit, you know what I mean? Where else are you gonna get jobs? Numbskull? Kind of thing. Oh, you want to sign up with Utico? Have fun with that,
Perfect.
But like you said, I think she is very different if she has to leave. There is that hikikomori element, it's very her environment.
I love giving those main NPCs they have to have a flaw so the party can press them if they ever turn.
But
and
they
I think
also
this is
don't
really
have to
fun.
know that flaw or have
Exactly.
any idea that it exists, because in the circumstance that's never going to come up unless they force her to leave. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But now that we know that, the idea of building Roger and having a runner out in the world, that could spark something. That's a clue for the party to say why does she have Roger? And she's never out and about. Maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, definitely. It's something we can talk about. Okay, so I think we've got some good stuff for Madame Hirani. Is there anything else we want to add, specifically for her? Is she the kind of person who ever gives discounts? You know what I mean? This is an important question for an owner of a business. Do they play favorites? And if so, who are their favorites? Would be my question. What sort of stuff does she promote as her business rather than the secret backdoor business? Because it is a house of pleasures, so the things I immediately think of are drugs, smoking or whatever of any kind, lushly appointed comfortable furniture, probably drinks, and relatively good food. And I think of sex work as well when I think house of pleasures, right? But I'm wondering how forward the sex work part is. You know what I mean? Is it you ask and there are there are places you can go, or is it right up there this is what we do, this is the thing, this is part of the business?
Yeah, I wonder.
Because I almost want to put it forward because it's a no shame thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed that these women or men make their money this way. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to think narratively how that plays out.
I like her being just very bald about if there's a thing you want, I've got it, or I can find it.
Yeah, it's like,
and the thing that just about everyone wants is sex.
Like,
so,
I can even farm out for your specific like weird shit if you want, but like
100%.
it'll cost you more. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
Repeat that. What exactly? What droid do you want?
Or
find that.
She can find practically any sort of pleasure you'd like, but the more obscure, the more costly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say it like that. That's good. Yeah. I don't know that she needs any other particular points. I just wanted to like speak frankly about our house of pleasures. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So that we could figure it out. However, in speaking about the House of Pleasures, we have opened up the possibility of employees of said House of Pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to go over to my my planets and the locations, Madame Hirani's. Open it up, and we're going to go to our GM section. And this is where we're going to note down, like, we don't necessarily need to give them a character card, but they are characters. You know what I mean? Like, the kind of characters that you might meet in passing, and if you decide to fight them, I will invent what their skills are right there.
100%.
You know? So my immediate thoughts are maybe one or two of the like employees who are like pleasure employees, you know, like sex workers.
Yeah.
And then there's got to be a chef. You know what I mean? Like somebody who cooks in this place, because if there's food and drink, then there's like there's a bartender, there's a chef, and there are several other employees. You know what I mean? Who probably fill a variety of roles between serving and sex work. You know?
I love this. Yeah.
So expanding out on this place, yeah, we'll have like a, you know, what kind of people we got, you know?
I want cool like strip club vibes, by the way.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm thinking like very well upholstered, comfy couches, and you know, like tables with nice like tablecloths on them that match the color, and like they kind of classy, but also like a little bit sleazy.
Yeah,
kind of vibe. Yeah, because we need to invent the chef who makes the pancakes.
Oh my god,
the pancakes chef.
This place is so caked up.
So caked up.
Double caked up on the Thursday. Let's go.
My immediate thought for the cook is like some larger alien species that has difficulty like fitting in like small kitchen spaces.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I want a rancor that's like I always wanted to
rancor.
A pastry chef.
Rancors are not sentient, unfortunately.
You don't know that?
I do know that. Yes, I do.
Just want like a big scary boy that's like I just want to make sugar scones.
I'm thinking of like you know, like a barabel, which are like lizard people. Like 6 foot tall, generally like warrior culture lizard people, who like takes their cooking really seriously, like ultra seriously.
Yeah.
And that might be fun. Just like a very grim looking chef, who like will talk with you about like the finer points of like chef work, you know, the finer points and the intricacies of the recipes or whatever, but like who really hates criticism, you know what I mean?
I love this. What if there's like a tier system along with like, what if Hirani is our first look at this sort of like pyramid, like this inverted pyramid, like skyscraper, that like these sort of everyone gets the strip club and short order cook version of like the obvious sex work is like non-penetrative, like watch this sentient creature take off its clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like and order some pancakes. But like if you get invited to like lower levels, like there's like a 5-star chef and a 5-star escort. Like
I've got you. Yeah, there's like multiple tiers of this place. And,
yeah, there's like a speakeasy that if you're a member of that club, you can go get access to like better stuff. And there's like just one of the best chefs in the world, but he's real difficult, which is why he finds himself on Vote.
Yeah.
It's very good food, but if you don't like it, don't say anything because you'll probably die.
Our Barbell chef, really serious about his food. Looks like the kind of guy who could punch your lights out. Looks like the kind of guy who could punch your lights out.
Oh no.
There we go. The chef is added. Who else is like these are the people who I'm thinking like they'll mostly be set dressing, you know what I mean? But that I want to have them ready in case for like they're not statted but they are here. Whereas we have like Mongum, for example, who will be a little more complicated and have a stat card and stuff like that.
Yeah. What can we have? I want a quest tied to our wonderful chef that's like a vendetta where you have to go kill a like mid-level Utico member and do an assassination because this chef is like, I will give you so many dollars. This person insulted my cooking.
Chip on his shoulder about a particular insult. From
and it becomes
a mid-level Utico thug.
Yeah, it feels like a really fun way for the party to like choose to begin running afoul of Utico.
And if you really want to mess with them, he'll pay you well.
Yeah.
Because he's probably got money saved up from when he was like a 4-star chef on Coruscant or whatever.
100%.
Yeah. And
I choose to believe that Hirani pays everyone incredibly well.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm also gonna mention ingredients: rare, obscure, possibly valuable. In case that comes up, because obviously
these jelly frogs, are they food?
Obviously
the chef wants to know.
Yeah, exactly right. Okay, so we've got our Barbell chef. I have a bunch of possible patrons from the Discord. There are a lot of people have written a lot of like, this NPC could almost be a player character in another game. You know what I mean? Kind of stuff. And that's always like, you can always pull a lot from that. I would have to scroll back up to get the details. I haven't been saving things, but for example, Bud Prince wrote a Rhodian expert assassin named Enil Pad, the Whistling Death.
Ooh.
Trained in a wide variety of death dealing, and they really like music. They really like bands and stuff, and the reason they're called the Whistling Death is they're always like humming a tune or like whistling a tune when they kill you.
That's fun.
And they have some love connection with someone like that they're thinking about like retiring, but they might have like one last job or whatever.
That's fun. I like this.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah. So we've got a couple of possible quest givers.
Nice.
Let's I'm just gonna write Enil in here. I'm not gonna stat him up necessarily.
I really like I'm Just a Dave's suggestion that each level has its like host and hostess. Like, what if there's this sense of like, I don't know, it feels like very funny, like a funny video game goof of like, yeah, this is the level where this other person is sort of running. It's just a way to throw in a shit ton more NPCs. But, oh man. Who is, I think the next thing I want to think about is like, who is the most or the like center of the like anti-party antagonistic force within Hirani's?
I think like if we're talking labor union, it's got to be Mongum, right?
Wait, Mongum doesn't oh, I want to be friends with Mongum so bad. That's fair.
Mongum would be your kind of like Utico is stealing all the money from the planet kind of guy. You know what I mean?
True.
Like the member of that like labor union we invented where they like cycle employees to like do the harvesting and stuff, but like that they never get to stick around long enough to unionize properly. You know what I mean? Or like do anything about it.
I meant anti-party.
Oh, you meant anti-party. Sorry, my brain was still typing.
It's all good.
Else. Anti-party.
There's always like one jerk in your favorite watering hole, and you're like, oh fuck, Kevin's here. Ugh.
Okay, like, all right. So anti-party in what way?
Just like either like hirani goes to our party and this person or group in equal measure, so whoever's around there more often, so they're like either like lead poachers or just, you know, bad vibes, like there's an ex in the group, or just
so are these
friends.
Are these the guys you're likely to like run into in the field doing the same thing as you kind of thing, like that kind of stuff?
Yep. And the party will sort of have like it is understood that like this person or persons, you're not friends with them. Do you try to win them over or get rid of them or like turn them into full rivals?
I think that particular type of like engagement might be best served waiting for an obligation that we can tie them to. So like,
okay, I like that.
So like if somebody's in debt to a specific crime lord, maybe not Utica or whatever, but they know like, you know, this guy works for him, and like on the sessions where they roll under their obligation or whatever, this guy in some way interferes with like what's going on. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Might be like the way to go for that, which means that I can't write them right now.
Yeah, that's super fair. Okay, cool.
But I like the idea. I like the idea that they're like around anyway, but they only like fuck with you when the obligation stuff comes up. You know?
Exactly.
Like, they know like you're here. They're waiting for you to pay the money, and then you don't pay the money, and then they come after you.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Just that Cheers vibe of like, there's always someone, and you're like, God, I wish they weren't here. And maybe they're like frenemies, and you're like, oh hi, I guess we're friends. I don't enjoy you.
Yeah, please don't talk to me. Yeah. I wrote the Rhodian expert assassin in The Whistling Death. I said that he has one last job, but he'd sort of rather retire at this point, to be honest. So maybe the players can get details on like what that job is from him. If they like get his trust or whatever, you know.
Tight.
I thought that might be good. What else can we do?
I want a performer here.
I was gonna say we need a performer. Yeah.
I want, like, in a hilarious parallel to Hollywood, like I want this performer to be like some ousted, to some like canceled celebrity that is like waiting out their prison sentence of like not being in the public eye here on Vode and laying low until they can go back and like hopefully regain their stardom.
So we're talking about like some sort of like C-list crooner or something, like
said something wrong, did something wild, and like
if there's one thing Star Wars always does, it's live music. I don't know if that's like a thing, but in Star Wars like public venues, it's always live music.
Yep.
So maybe a musician of some kind or a singer of some kind who is like, made a faux pas about commenting about like imperial politics or something. And, ended out a lounge lizard, exactly.
A literal lounge lizard. This is.
I mean, I already wrote a Barabel, so I don't want to write another. Lizard.
Everyone's lizards in our game.
I mean, I could write a Trandoshan. It's another kind of.
I want like a gecko. What's a Star Wars gecko?
Star Wars gecko.
They just like stick on the wall upside down and sing.
It sounds awesome, but I can't think of who that would be. My encyclopedic knowledge needs a dust off. You know what I mean?
You're good.
A member of the frog lady species from The Mandalorian. Yeah, you want me to?
Please.
You want me to do that? All right, cool.
Please.
So are they a male, male or female singer?
Ooh, let's do a male singer, and for whatever reason that is not immediately apparent to all of our party and anyone around it, this is a sex symbol.
Yeah, he's like known to be really hot.
Yeah,
but it makes no sense because he's like a frog dude.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
and just play with the kayfabe of like nobody's like hot though, and you're like, how? I guess
very attractive frog guy singer.
I just want the like. Have you seen Parks and Recreation? Parks and Rec. It's the little Sebastian thing of like everyone's way too geeked up about this horse.
Totally, really gets into it, but it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And I want this to be like everyone's very into this frog singer, and no one can explain why.
We'll say like former celebrity from the core. Celebrity from the core worlds. Ousted, waiting out their shame on Vode.
They're on shame timeout.
Performing in Madame Hirani's. If anybody has names for these characters, by the way, we have a frog guy singer and a Barabel chef who both need names.
Yes, this is your job.
Like my entire job for you, Chad, is just to shoot names at me. So you're welcome to do so.
All right, they're already coming in. Richard Cheese.
Richard Cheese. I don't know if you saw it, Aabria, but the Discord made a whole series of Mouseroids based entirely on cheese puns from your last episode. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
They're all like, they all have like numbers and letters, like code names that are like cheese related. Yeah.
I love them so much. I've been talking about like the cheese tangent in that stream all week to like other people, and like, no, you don't understand. Like this is the moment of the sublime. Like when we talk about like soul and that like when you're in flow, and it was like this was us just talking about cheese and like Star Wars and making that feel real and vital, and like it feels very like silly and kind of tangential, but like it makes the world feel real in like a really fun way. And yeah, cheese droid.
I have the name for the Barabel chef has come in, and I like it. It's Stack Tartar.
I love it. I'm just staring at it. Butt prints. How dare you?
Yeah. No, I like it. Langlear Gowe is pretty good for our frog as well. I like that.
Langlear Gowe is great.
Yeah, I like that. All right, cool. We've named them both. And we already have a Neopad, the expert Rhodian assassin.
Perfect.
What? Yeah, Robert Breen made up an entire Vodian cheese company.
I mean, that feels so good. There is so much like spore stuff in the air. Like fermented foods have got to be goddamn wild here. Ooh, yeah. I want our boy Stack Tartar to be very much in the like a hyper serious, hyper like no nonsense version of the chef from Noma, like the most famous restaurant in the world. It just has a bunch of like fermenting stuff where he like once a day he just opens up the door for 5 minutes to let a little bit of the fog and air come in and go, I don't know what it does to all these ferments, but they're very good and get you a little bit high. So you're welcome.
Yeah, it works. It's good. I don't know the exact details, but I know when success is happening.
Feels right. And then I try it. And if it makes me go to sleep, maybe it's too much.
All right. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's come up with 2 more NPCs for Madame Hirani's. Like these are just NPCs. I'm not static. These are just NPCs that are like there.
Yeah.
Like I said, mostly set dressing. With a couple of like beneficial quests if you really go after them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Make 2 more of these, and then we'll talk about wildlife because we need to talk about.
There's no universe in which like the coolest courtesan in the world or escort in the world is not like a changeling that can just be whatever you need them to be.
Is there a changeling species?
Wait, what was there was like there was a bounty hunter.
Zamwazel is a changeling, obviously.
Yay! I did remember. I was like, wait, I remember a thing from Star Wars.
The only Star Wars movie I don't watch all the time, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, I mean we could definitely go with a changeling courtesan.
And I want
I
like a
that.
full, like they only appear behind a screen in silhouette while the customer describes like their ideal partner, and then they just become the partner. I think that's cool.
I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna write that. Changeling, courtesan. I think we should also like we could just like not name them as well if we wanted to, or like because they're different people all the time. You know what I mean?
Oh man, how
also,
are they?
Robert Breen with the Togruta courtesan in the chat there.
Ooh. Ooh, yay! I like that.
Changeling courtesan.
All right, Robert, you're winning me back. I feel like you're gonna drop a salacious crumb on me at any second.
Modifies their appearance to the customer's preference, but doesn't show themselves till they're done.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm also tempted to just like grab whole cloth Darastar from chat.
Heck yeah. Can we do like single name for our changeling courtesan, but accepts all pronouns and like is just not
yeah, just like a flat one name. Yeah.
And never really appears as like any one person for very long.
Yeah. As your lure.
All these cheese jokes. Bree.
Bree is a good name. I'm down with it. Done. You joke, but I made it happen.
It's like bluff call.
I mean, it's actually a name.
Yeah.
Darastar, Togruta courtesan. Is your allure. I'm just trying to like make sure that I write down what you have said. With blue skin.
Can we have, while you're doing this, and I'll just sort of this is more me.
Robert Breen, write me more of the Azure allure if you want in Discord, and I will add it after we're done here, rather than transcribe stuff.
Yeah, before the chat goes away. That makes sense. I really like the idea of having an NPC that is just a full ass barfly that's just there all the time, kind of a mess, but is probably like one of the greatest like physical like artisans in like this sector. And they have like they're here because they are the most highly paid like carver of this like mushroom wood.
Okay, so they're just like a mushroom wood artisan who just hangs out in the bar all the time.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "What do you do? How can you afford to sit here and drink all the time?"
I want to make them
like, "Yeah, I go and do like 2 hours of work carving a desk."
I want to make them like
a
Wookiee or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. Let's do that.
I like it.
The barfly.
Can Wookiees be like white fur? Because now I want to make it
a white fur Wookiee for sure.
Now we're making. Sorry, you have indulged me in making a obtuse reference to Bursa.
Yeah, fine.
Who also got very into like I'm a big scary bear, but I do like carving.
Yeah, so we'll have our barfly be a Wookiee who's white furred and sort of venerable. Venerable. Carves fungal wood.
A Wookiee whittler.
A
Wookler.
Job, and is highly paid to do so.
Yeah.
Paid to do so, and spends it all at Madame Hirani's.
Yep. Just throwing out that juice.
Though I think he's mostly like a drinker, you know, like a connoisseur of food and drink rather than the pleasures of the house.
Yeah.
I've also added the bartender that Ashiruni was coming up with, a Zeltron bartender named Vianney Lorica. Again, if you just hit me up with a little more info in the Discord, I will add it. And what I'll try and do is add it as soon as I get it so it doesn't scroll away from me. But also feel free to like ping me, you know?
Yes. Ooh, I love this. Just a little too interested in everybody.
Yeah.
That's fun. What's Zeltron? What's a Zeltron?
So Zeltron are pink-skinned humanoids who have a certain like pheromone that like induces happiness.
Fun.
Yeah.
Can I do a mod on this Zeltron? I want I want an extra set of arms, like 2 arms for bartending and 2 arms for writing down hot goss.
Let's go with like not a cybernetic, but like an attachment. You know what I mean?
Okay,
or
sweet.
Like that. I think we can write that definitely.
Tight.
Who's the barfly a spy for? That's a good question, Claim. Do they spy, or are they just like definitely a barfly with too much money? Our white furred Wookiee, who needs a Wookiee name, by the way.
You need a Wookiee name.
Yeah. I almost think it'd be better if they're just like they just have too much money and they hang out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we'll give them something that like the players could engage with in terms of like stuff they need or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some like lumber cutting site that has like the best stuff and they're not really selling at the moment, and he'd really like to get his hands on some. Like
Garlaca.
Garlaca is really good.
Wait, can Garlaca be a girl?
Yeah, of course. Garlaca.
I feel like I've never met a girl Wookiee in the thing.
I will write female Wookiee, white furred, sort of.
But I do like this
idea.
idea.
They're like an old lady Wookiee. It's so good.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "No, you're definitely a spy. You're like a Wookiee," and they're like, "I just like carving. I don't know what to tell you."
I love Garlaca now. Yeah.
Garlaca.
All right, so
wait, isn't Garlock the name of the Wookiee in Imperial Assault?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
No, Garlaca. I know. I'm trying to remember one thing about a Star Wars. You've got to give me this.
Garlaca is good. I don't remember because I don't know Imperial Assault particularly well. She's like the Rhyme Scrimshaw lady. She's just like this old Wookiee that just carves things. Yeah, she's not a secret assassin though. I don't think she has like secret assassin skills. Like the Rhyme old lady. All right, cool. We have more than the 2 more that I had asked for, and I'm sure this list will grow as people in the Discord are like, here's a patron for Madame Morani's, you know, like for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll save that, and we've got like our little GM notes. It's good.
Yay.
For Madame Morani's. We should talk about wildlife.
Yeah.
There are 2 things I want to talk about with wildlife. We need some like deadly wildlife, and we need some like charming wildlife. You know what I mean? Like
let's start with charming stuff.
You want to start with charming? I think the slime frogs need to exist.
Yeah,
I need like jelly frogs.
I need the jelly frogs to exist, but I want them to be very hard to catch. And I do, with all of my heart, want there to be a very stupid side quest of, are the jelly frogs edible? As a quest from one of the chefs. Yeah, so you have to find it and either try to eat it yourself or convince someone else to eat it.
Yeah, all right. I need to make a section for
dumb quests.
Wildlife, I think.
Jelly frog.
Add a handout for wildlife. Or no, I need a folder, not a handout. What am I doing?
So basically, like if a frog, like if the cap of a jellyfish or a man of war was frog shaped, like that's what I'm thinking of, like maybe vaguely bioluminescent on the inside and somehow alive, but it defies logic.
Okay, let's how am I gonna
slime slippers?
I think I will write these as just handouts. I'm not gonna write them as character sheets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I can come up with that stuff as necessary if you end up fighting an angry slime slipper, but I seriously doubt it. So, all right. So, wildlife. We have slime slippers, which I like as a name. A slime slipper. So what does this like a slime slipper do? So they're a particularly gelatinous, gelatinous looking. Oh my god, I can't.
Yeah, they're like they're semi-transparent. You can only tell when they are in something or like on something if they like glow a little bit for probably horny reasons, because that's mostly when stuff happens.
And a little glowy.
Yeah, they glow when it's horny.
Or
if it gets like warm.
Of the bioluminescence of the Vodian jungle.
But what if they like make a cute little, like what if they're cute singers?
Yeah,
and so you can hear them a bunch, but they're hard to find and see.
They make like they make a noise of some kind, like a trill or something. Like,
yeah, what if it was like a little cute, like soft trill, just like in the back?
Yeah, like they make the same strange, soft trilling noise, and the jungle is often rather full of the sound.
Yeah.
It's just like a cicada background noise, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like cicadas in Japanese summer and everything that is
oh my
ever
God.
made. Yeah.
It's just a sustained scream all through the month of August.
It was like that in Australia when I lived there too. Cicadas are just relentless.
Oh, that's wild. What if that like frog, the slipper trill is also, or the absence of the trill is also a signal that one of these low pressure storms is coming in?
Oh yeah, let's do that. The absence of the slime slipper trill is a good sign a low pressure storm is about to hit and clear the fog from the area. Yeah, I like that. Boom. Gives us like a little bit more about them. A little extra.
Yeah.
A little extra. All right. Next wildlife creature.
Okay. Do you want to do a mean one now?
Why not? I like there was one that was like a snake that I read last week. I would have to scroll back through the NPCs to find it, but it is certainly there. The Vodian Viper. Yeah, so we will do Vodian Viper. They are snakes that live in clusters. Snakes that live, or let's make them blue-purple snakes that live in clusters together in the branches of the fungal jungle.
Vodian vipers in the fungal jungle.
Bite is very incredibly dangerous. And they tend to attack by dropping from above.
Ooh, that was funny. I had an idea for a bird that did something similar, so this is great.
What they are hunting. But the real trick to the vipers is that their scales can shift a little, and secrete a rather stinging acid upon whatever they're touching. Something like that. I remember that being part of it. I'll have to go back and look at it all.
I like it. Okay, I have an idea.
Okay, yeah, you have an idea?
I have an idea for a bird. Birds have to have hollow bones so they can fly. But what if that bone was super, super sturdy and there was like a species of like carnivorous bird that chases these? I'm still kind of obsessed with this weather element that like chases these weather patterns and like allows itself to like fly into like a heavy pressure system and basically get thrown to the ground. But it like, and let that like wind carry it down. But because lots of gentler animals get pinned under the pressure and get stuck in one place, this thing is like sturdy enough to like crawl on all fours. Like I kind of want it to be like a bird, but also kind of wyverny, where it has like talons on its wings, where it can crawl on the ground and catch like prey that's like pinned to the ground under these low pressure systems.
Yeah, so what I've written is carnivorous bird that chases the low-pressure weather patterns and uses the force of the storm pinning other creatures to the ground to eat them while they're helpless.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it have a stinger?
Ooh, yeah, let's give it a little stinker. This is just a wyvern. We made a wyvern. We put a dragon in this.
It has a paralyzing stinger.
Yeah.
To reinforce.
Oh, it's got to be a shrike. I've always loved that word.
Paralyzing stinger to reinforce its advantage.
Hell yeah.
Shrike. I like shrike. What like is it just a Vodian shrike? You know,
a Vodian spear shrike feels cool.
Vodian spear shrike sounds awesome.
Nice, Jeevesy.
Yeah, let's do that. Boom. Yeah. Vodian spear shrike. They're nasty.
Yeah.
I don't think they particularly care about the size of the thing either. They're like they're willing to go after whatever gets caught. So like people can be caught in
100%.
They're bad. They're bad for people.
Oh, I like
okay, we've got a couple of little wildlife entries. I like that. We can come back and pepper that when we think of stuff. The other thing that people in the Discord seemed very interested in, and I've been using the Discord to gauge what it is I'll be talking about in the next episode fairly frequently, is space around Vode.
Yeah.
So one of the things that came up is like, is there a tertiary landing zone for sort of like Utico business that doesn't want to come to the Vodian surface? You know, like, is the fungal wood like stored in an orbital way station, and then like
that
cargo kind of comes and goes from there rather than having to land on Vode where it's like dangerous, making space travel to the Vodian surface like more particular, but also making this like orbital station potentially like a fairly valuable Utico asset. You know what I mean? Like, because it is like a base as well. And I'm wondering, like, what do you think about that versus like the planet being the planet thing, or like there being some kind of like moon landing somewhere that you can like go to the moon there and then shuttle to Vode, or like stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. What if there's just a little sort of like, I like it being more like a little space station that's pretty near orbit, because like moons are surprisingly far.
And I looked at the time it would take to get to various places in a ship, like going in sublight speed. To get to a moon of a planet, it will take you 30 to 90 minutes from the surface of the planet to get to a moon.
Okay.
Depending on how far away it is. To get to safe hyperspace range, away from like a planet's orbit, it takes you 5 to 15 minutes. So a space station would be like sort of that close, you know what I mean? Which I think is more reasonable than like you get on a shuttle and you wait an hour while you go from the moon to Vode. It's just like it's just like unnecessary.
That's so long. Yeah. I'm into that.
So yeah, we'll have like a
and just let it be in like, somehow we'll figure out how to put in like geosynchronous orbit over like,
well, over the spaceport, right? Like, or wherever. Yeah. It is situated in space in a convenient location.
Just drop it down.
Let's do it. So we'll call it Utico orbital way station. And I say way station because like it's like a trucker thing, you know, like
I like that.
It's like for getting the getting the goods. And we'll call it like a small, rather poorly manned orbital station that Utico owns for matters of convenience. Convenience.
I'm going to try very, very hard to name this place. You keep typing. Name this place Button, like the mushroom type, and give it like a terrible backronym for it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that's my, that's my goal now.
Feel free if you want to.
Chat, help. We're going to turn the word button into an acronym. Or moral. Yes, I am just on a webpage about different kinds of mushrooms right now.
So what I've said is that the legitimate stock is situated forward, but there's also this is also the place where a lot of fog gets shipped out illicitly. You know what I mean? This is where the smuggler ships will come in and like grab their drug shipment and leave, sort of thing, rather than having to go all the way to the Vodian surface.
What if there's like a dark side to the station? The way that there's like a dark side to a moon.
Like a sensor dampening, you know, like maneuver. Yeah. I like that. Bulk utility transport nexus Button. It says Arcane Archivist in chat. What do you think, Aabria?
Huh? Oh.
You were looking at something else.
I was looking at more mushroom words.
Yeah, Arcane Archivist in chat has a good one. Bulk utility
That's
transport
great.
nexus.
That's perfect. Thank you. Yep, that's it. It's called button now. I'm sorry.
I will add sometimes referred to as the button.
Sometimes. Yeah, there's like, I think the difference between like Jander and Zayla. Is it Zayla?
It's Zayla, yeah.
Zayla. Okay, cool. Because I was like, Zala. No, this isn't Lion King. The difference between Jander and Zayla is that Zayla hates the name button, and Jander thinks that like anything that makes this place seem like less threatening and more unassuming is good. And he's like, yeah, I call it button out loud all the time. She's like, no, stop.
Stop. Cool. Yeah, I've added that to the locations tab. So we have Madame Hirani's on the Utica Orbital Way Station, otherwise known as the button. Yeah. Which is good. I definitely think that is a good thing to have, because what it does is it cuts down on like land traffic, if you know what I mean. Like I imagine the spaceport is like fairly, like on the surface is like fairly bare bones in terms of it's basically a landing strip for spaceships, and then everything goes below ground. You know, like there's an entrance to the below ground, and then everything is below ground.
100%.
I wonder what like the root system of a fungal jungle looks like. You know what I mean? Thinking about like digging and like underground stuff. Like I wonder how pervasive that is. Like you could definitely do stuff that's like, you know, some of the hallways on the like upper levels have got like a little bit of like invasive fungal root overhang and stuff like that, you know.
Yo, what if there is a level of like fungus that is so like I don't give a F about what the substrate is, that like it can appear on those upper levels on the like most exterior walls, the ones that are like flush up against the world around them, like mushrooms, kind of like the ones that form on like tree trunks that are like little steps.
Yeah, the little toadstools or whatever.
Yeah. Like those kind of pop up.
Yeah. That is.
And what if they're just kind of food? Like if they grow through the metal, people are like, I mean, I'm gonna eat it.
Snack.
It's fine. Yeah, just.
But also, it does. What do you call it? Breach the atmospheric containment of hallways. You know what I mean?
It's
like
very bad when it happens.
Yeah, like for the people who are trying not to get fung lung, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I like that. I'm just gonna keep that one in my head. I don't even.
Yeah, you like scrape it away and then you reseal it with more metal and like call in a work order to like put up more metal.
So one of the things I don't know if I told you. I think I did tell you this in the preamble. One of my friends from the Discord has said that they will run me through a beginner starter campaign. Like alone of this game, so that I can get a full grasp on the practical aspects of running it. Because what I will say is that I have been researching the books backward and forward, but I still have questions, and practical help will be much appreciated. So by next week I will be very solidly entrenched in the mechanics, which is nice.
Heck yeah.
I definitely think like there's some real good shit in like abandoned parts of underground systems, you know what I mean, when we're talking about like mushroom overgrowth, and we're talking about like that kind of stuff. There's potentially great adventure in who lives in the systems nobody else does, you know what I mean? Like and are they opposed to Utica? Because they probably are, you know what I mean? Like, and then there's that whole question of like, I don't know, other organizations. One of the things somebody brought up in the Discord as well that I immediately was like, that's a good question. I think it was Stormy who brought this one up. Was if there's not a lot of civilized clearance on Vode, how many like wildcat settlements are there in the jungle? You know what I mean? Like where somebody's just like landed a spaceship, and that spaceship is atmospherically sealed so they can use it as like a house. You know, to like run whatever illicit thing they're doing, or like just be a hermit out in the jungle, you know, like these kinds of things. It's like places that like don't get clearance to land from the station, you know, and just like sneak in kind of thing, and like land out in the jungle somewhere, because it's a whole planet, you know.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So I imagine there's probably a couple of those at the very least. I'm planning on giving the players a terrible ship to start. Just like poorly maintained and just like very not something they want to be flying out into the void of space at the beginning of the game. That's gonna be my method of keeping them on ground for the first act while they repair some things. That's my plan. Oh yeah, Bud Prince just made a Shroom Shriner NPC who does just live out in the jungle in their ship. Yeah,
that's dope. Can I add something to this? Because I really like this idea of like just hyper hardy mushrooms. And we describe this terrain as like also very, very rocky in places. So what if one of the like fungal like mega flora types that exists is this like fungal tree that like grows out of rock, and it takes a lot of time to do so as it like digs its like micellar network into it, but it's super flammable. So if you burn out the the fungus, you're left with essentially like a full cave.
Like a very crumbled rock, yeah, because it's
exactly. But it carves through the rock, and like you have a bunch of like debris on the like floor of it, but it essentially like it can create like a safe cave space. So maybe there's people that like burn out this plant, park their ship on it, and now they have access to their own little makeshift like below ground safe caverns.
That's great. I like that. That's definitely good. Cinder root mushroom. Yeah.
I
like that. I don't have anywhere to note it down, so I will write it in my notebook. I don't have like a category for cool mushrooms.
I just like that idea of like people that are just sort of like homesteader, tiny house people that are like, you go find this very specific type of fungus out in the forest, like in a very specific type of terrain, and like, boom, you got yourself a house.
Yeah, like you can just do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Stuff like this. Okay. Homesteaders. Using practical mushrooms.
There's a mushroom for everything.
I mean, there's a lot of different fungus out there.
There's so much fungus among us.
I want to write that down, but I didn't have like a good place on the Roll20 to.
Yeah, you're good.
Mark it.
You're putting it in the throwaway pile.
I'm putting
it's okay, I'll remember.
No. I'm putting it in the pile of my notebook. So.
Burnout bunkers, 100%.
Burnout bunkers, pretty good. There's no such thing as a well-maintained ship. There's only flying tin cans.
So good.
That is pretty good. Better ships get destroyed in the next episode. Yeah, they go out and they steal a ship from a smuggler, but they don't have the keys. So.
Yep. What do you do?
What do you do? You know. You didn't find the smuggler's corpse because he's out in the jungle somewhere and he's got the keys.
Oh man, nice.
I like it. Damn, we burned through a whole bunch of stuff real fast.
Right?
For today. I was like, this is gonna take us at least that long, and it totally did. What's great is there's already more info about Dar's Dar in the Discord. I
love them so much.
And yeah, there's I mean,
like you mean great. A tall blue Togruta, and like I'm not supposed to love or be this character? How dare you?
How dare you? We could talk a little bit about how mechanically combat works in the system.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Because we've got like a little bit of time, but not enough that I want to fill it with like a big conversation.
Yeah.
So combat is interesting in Star Wars Edge of the Empire because you're basically rolling against like challenge and then dealing with like defense versus damage. So like soak of your armor and your whatever and your toughness or your brawn, I think it is. Versus like the damage of a weapon, but the hitting is not the difficult part, you know what I mean, like generally, because the way that accuracy works is not like roll a d20, add your modifier, you know what I mean. It's depending how close you are, it's easier or harder and it's always like 2 challenge if it's a melee attack. Like it doesn't change the like amount of challenge that it takes to strike someone. The only thing that changes is your skill at doing it.
Okay, I like that.
If you know what I mean, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And the part that I had trouble wrapping my head around was I also have to make challenge rolls for my NPCs to hit you.
Yeah,
so my
that's
side,
wild.
My side is not just challenge; it's also NPC stats against my own imposed challenge to do stuff to the PCs. You know what I mean? Which was an interesting thing to like try and get my brain around. But it makes sense. And combat is the only place where it really like fully fleshes out into like stats versus stats a lot of the time, because with player cooperation, it just is like use the best skill and best stat of both of them. So if like somebody has 3 intelligence and the other person has 1 computer or whatever, or they have 3 intelligence but 1 slicing, and the other guy has 2 intelligence but 3 slicing, if they work together, you can use 3 and 3 to make it like the best possible option. You pick like a skill and a stat from both of them, which I think is cool. The other thing is like competitive roles are just, do you beat the challenge better than your friend? So like if you're arm wrestling, for example, and you want to see who wins the arm wrestle, you just roll against the challenge, and whoever gets more successes is the winner. That's all it is.
Okay.
Which is like super easy to adjudicate, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? So I like the dice system in this game. I've said it before, but I do. I'm gonna have a much more practical loadout on all of it next week, because I will have played some very recently. But the stuff we've got to think about stat-wise is stuff for our enemies, like our base enemies and our like big boy enemies. You know what I mean? Like Jander or Zala. Or Zala, or however you want to pronounce it. It's
Zala. You said it right.
Zala. And when it comes to Nemesis level enemies, there's often stuff that's like all combat challenges rolled against them are upgraded by like 2 or something. They're just like stuff just gets harder. So instead of it being that like it is always 2 to hit, it suddenly becomes 4 for you, but only 2 for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that a lot.
And that's how it kind of changes. Fun. Yeah, there's essentially a modification system. Yeah. Which I find interesting. The stuff that I'm not fully up on yet is like all of the talents or all of the modifications for every possible thing that exists. I forgot. I forgot we were going to talk about this. We need to create the mechanical effect of fog.
Crap. You're right.
People keep asking me, what does it do?
Nothing.
And I have decided that what it does, and I'm gonna add it as an item of import here so that we have it written down. I'll make a note card for it later, but I'll write it down for now. I think what I'm gonna have it do is increase your brawn stat by 1 and give you an extra maneuver during combat for an entire combat, like an entire set piece. Like you take the dose at the beginning, and then after the set piece is done, that is gone, and you deal with the withdrawal effects.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think Aabria described it in the pregame as it being like haste and rage like at once, you know. If you translate it into like D&D stuff, haste being the part that gives you like more maneuver.
Yeah, be fast and hit crazy.
I don't think an extra maneuver is super overpowered, but it is very, very the kind of thing you want. It's the kind of thing you can pay strain to do if you like want to do it on your own without drugs. But if you want to take the fog, you can do it with that. But then we have to think about like what is the withdrawal effect, or like what is the negative effect of like taking concentrated fog, you know, the fog of war drug, as it were. And how that like affects people.
I wonder, because I have played with this dice system before, but I am not as familiar with it. Like, is there value in creating a like mechanic for addiction to fog? That like part of the come down cycle is rolling something.
I mean, we can roll like D100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a way that's like, it has a 15% chance of making you need another one or something like that, and then like talk about the negative from there. You know?
There's a cute thing that like, this is just sort of I hear you typing, so continue to type while I tell the story.
I'm just writing down the stuff we've already written, basically.
Dimension 20 came up with a really cool like relapse mechanic for their characters with addiction in the Unsleeping City that's like playing right now. That like you start off with a D20, and anytime, and like the players pick their trigger for it, and whenever they encounter their trigger like in a game, they have to roll like the D20, and if it goes to a 1, they step down the die type. And basically, by the time you get down to a D4 and roll a 1 on a D4, like you're in like a relapse event. And I kind of like this idea of playing the Fog of War game, maybe not with that much time involved, because that's a much longer like timeline for it. But I like this idea of rolling to get closer and closer to an addictive like reality.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And then we have to talk about like what that addiction entails.
Exactly.
And we also,
but so much of drug use is like, it's this very like, I'm kind of rolling the dice on.
What I will say is that one of the obligations is addiction. Like one of the obligations that you could take as an obligation mechanic. So that addiction becoming like a thing where you're rolling in at the beginning of every session and seeing if it messes with you during that session, because that's how obligations work.
Yeah.
Could be like, well, you don't have any and you need to get some, or you don't have any and you can't get some, and so you're taking -1 across the board for this session. You know what I mean? And maybe next session you've got it under control because you roll again on your obligations and it doesn't, maybe it doesn't come up or whatever. But like, it's one of those things that's like, the potential for badness becomes the obligation roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can make that obligation roll as likely or unlikely as we want on a D100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is already a mechanic basically for
I like it.
For addiction. Yeah. And then it comes down to me what the consequences are. But what I will say is we should make some kind of like, when you've used it, roll a die, and if you fail, then you're addicted. You know what I mean? Like, and then we talk about like how to deal with addictions and so forth, like as a general mechanic.
100%. But Prince asks a very cool question. Does having Feng Lung have any impact on fog use? And I kind of like the idea. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I kind of like the idea of like, if you've progressed through fog use and gotten to Feng Lung, like it is no longer addictive, because like all of that desire is off put onto like a second like thing in your body that is requiring it.
If you have Feng Lung, you're not going to get the negative of addiction because you're already breathing unrefined fog like a lot. Kind of
Exactly. Because now like the thing here is no longer like, oh no, you have this obligation to like go find it. Now it's, hey, it doesn't feel bad, but it no longer feels bad to not be like ingesting fog. But if you ever stop, you will just full die. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that scarier to be like, well, now you have to have it. And there's nothing in your body screaming out to you to go get it. Just get it or don't.
Yeah. I mean, refined or unrefined, it comes down to the same thing eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying, kind of? Like,
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure what we were saying was like, you don't need the fog drug, you just need fog if you have Feng Lung. If Feng Lung is just like fog in general.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's like an atomizer. Like you could get like a little inhaler if you have Feng Lung. Like you can get the like sort of weaponized concentrated fog, like Fog of War. And if you put a little inhaler, you can just
Thanks, B. Zelda, for updating the content warning.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Of course, I'm just okay. Yeah, no, I like that.
I just like inhalers a lot. And just like a big, cool, like scary stormtrooper is like, hold on.
Yeah.
All right, let's get in this fight.
we'll do like chance of addiction, offset, if you have fun one.
Yeah.
We should also talk about a withdrawal of just like the concentrated stuff, like because every good thing that you can take should have a downing effect as per the like spices rule.
Yeah.
Generally. So what's the negative? Is it like a reduction in intelligence? Is it like a willpower sapping thing, like just after, like for the scene, because it's like the scene during you have it, the scene after you have withdrawal, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of balances out a little bit. But I'm wondering what the negative should be, like what do we want to impact the maybe perception, like a brain fog.
Yeah, I like that. I was going to say, like, if there's something for, like, mental acuity and reaction time.
I'm going to say you take a -1 on all checks related.
You go full Baby Yoda and just do a nap wherever you are.
Perception, cunning, or intelligence. Yeah, let's do that. So you can get a big combat advantage, but then you have a big non-combat disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think is smart. And we'll talk about the chances of it, the addiction and so forth, like when we want to get into it, like more specifically, unless you want to do that now.
Yeah.
But my basic hit on it would be like roll a D100. If you roll below a 15, you're addicted. You know, it's like a low chance, but still like a very reasonable chance to happen if you take it.
Yeah. There's a good note here from Clume, not to have something too judgmental of real addicts like intelligence loss. I'm happy to think we are thinking of it more as like the result of like an adrenaline crash.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the way that it's treated more.
It's like a tired thing more than it's. The only reason I mention intelligence is because it's an actual like stat in the game that governs your checks based on a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, you know.
I mean, if it's that stat, but I'm
not making a judgment on like real drug users, you know. But I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Like that is the stat. Like, unfortunately, that's just the name of the stat. But like, what is happening is the like sort of.
I'm okay.
Getting sleepy. I'm okay. No, I think that makes sense though.
Perception and cunning, to be honest, because it's just like your ability to see things that are happening around you or like perceive, and your ability to be like a smart ass.
Yeah, dog. Have you ever had a hangover? I'm like, don't think spicy now.
I'm totally
happy. Nap.
I'm totally happy to like, take that back. I'm just, again, it's just like brainstorming an item that doesn't exist. Okay. Yeah. I think what I would do is just do a D100 roll probably. And we could have it modified by willpower maybe, but I don't want to get like too deep into the mechanics of that. It's like, if you're taking this, you know what the possible situation is.
Yeah.
What's the duration of the brain fog? So I've basically said like for one scene you get the benefits, and for the scene after you get the detriments. You know?
Yeah, that feels good.
So it's not like a defined hours time. It's just like the scene, whatever that scene happens to be. Addiction is based on a D100 roll. Roll below 15 is bad. Bad for you, and creates an addiction obligation. Yep. Cool. Now we have the mechanical uses of Fog of War, the actual drug brought out by fog. There you go.
I like it.
There you go, everybody who's been asking me in Discord.
Yay! Fog is fun.
It exists.
It has like this very like, I don't know, roll the dice mechanic of like, it could be fine.
Well, and like
you want to win this fight, so
and you could take it 100 times and never become addicted. Like
exactly,
it's very possible. You know. It's just a matter of statistics.
Yeah. I was in college. I remember like doing that mental math often.
What do I need to pass this test?
Yep.
Been there. Yeah, I need to know the rough price as well, but I'll figure that out once I match it against various other spices so that I don't have in front of me.
For sure.
At current time, what else do we need today, Aabria? What do you think?
I would like to try to make another like low level scenario. Like we kind of have the episode 1 scenario.
Oh
like,
yeah, you want to talk
walked
about
out.
You want to talk about the early gameplay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cuz we have the like Madame Hirani first quest, fetch these noble kids who got lost on the tour.
These dum-dums.
And that it's potentially dangerous. Somebody wrote some digging moles that create like tunnels underneath the fungal jungle that these kids could have fallen into in the Discord. I do not remember who wrote it, but I do remember that the name was a pun on the phrase guacamole, on the word guacamole, because they were named guac apostrophe ca, like guaca moles.
Do you know how much I love guac? This is very good for me. I love it so much. Very good.
So I think there's potential. There's potential in like our intrepid heroes would have to find these lost kids. But that's already one that we have.
Yeah.
Because we already wrote that last time. So what kind of stuff are you thinking in terms of like early quest material? Because like I think it'll depend on the party quite a lot, because we can provide them with like, you want to assassinate this guy, but if nobody's like a rootin' tootin' combat assassin,
yeah,
you know, like then it sort of falls on its face a little bit, which is why we should come up with a variety of options, obviously.
For sure. I think another option is like a low level sort of morally ambiguous like mission given by Utico. Like someone asked, like, are there varying qualities of fog? And but Prince did. I actually really like the idea that like maybe some of those burnout bunkers, like that are in random places, are like, yeah, they're just like, they're out there making like bathtub fog, like just moonshiners.
Like we can't have them polluting the like pool.
Yeah, like what if they have the problem of like they're trying to refine it on their own and like get it off world, but like it's probably fairly dangerous to do so. And we could have Utico saying like, please go stop these like shroom shiners out in the like out there, because they can like blow stuff up and maybe it's bad for the ecosystem or something. Like, yeah, you don't want to blow up a mushroom forest. Some of these are really flammable. Please go deal with that.
I really like that, because it's like these people are making a thing that is dangerous. Please deal with them. But it's actually, we're protecting our economic investment by not having the pool of quality deteriorate. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want people to like have bad batches of stuff. There's a whole TV show coming out about the Bad Batch. And you thought it was about stormtroopers. It's about fog.
Yeah, no, I like that as like it's not morally ambiguous to stop someone from making a very dangerous decision to produce a dangerous item.
Yeah.
But also like the person giving it to you is not going to tell you all the reasons they want you to do that.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, we told you exactly as much as you needed to feel good about what we're asking you to do. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. And then we can find out, like, the party will have an opportunity to find out about these sort of like the other civilizations, like the other people that live like on this planet in like weird little enclaves and tunnels.
Weird little wildcat settlements, as they were referred
little wildcat
to.
settlements.
I also like the idea of like putting in a quest that is like particularly non-combat, something like one of the merchants won't sell this like thing for the price that somebody wants, and like if you can get them to sell it to you, then they'll like reimburse you and a little bit extra, because they've tried to like buy it 100 times but they can't get it, you know, like something for our talkie characters, like, and we can introduce like a particular merchant through it as well, who might be like valuable if they manage to like actually succeed in convincing him of something, or like somebody lives in a particular district and they, you know, and their business is not doing very well, and that's because like some gang is like throttling like what do you call it, like foot traffic through there and like menacing people or whatever, like and like what do you want to do about that? Like are you gonna guns blazing them, or are you gonna
yeah,
you know, are you gonna talk them down, you gonna pay them off? Like, you know, there's a lot of good like variable options in there, and not everybody who lives on a boat is Utica related, obviously. Like there are people who are just people, or people who are in other like smaller groups, you know, and stuff. They don't all agree, because a monolith planet-sized would be insane.
yeah.
So I think there's
that's so good. Yes.
Like the elements of like protecting like somebody's business, from that kind of thing, or somebody's residence, you know. And then it all comes in and like, are you really the good guy for like pushing these guys out so that Utico can come in and like like be in the hallways now and whatever, you know, like own that area? Because that's the question we're always asking. And I know some of this stuff is like butts up against some real life like sensitivity stuff, and I don't, you know, that's not how I mean it. Well, it kind of is, but what I want is for the players to have to ask themselves if they're making the right choice at any given moment.
I think that's the theme. Like, and if it gets close to real life, like, good.
Yeah, no, like I agree, but I also like I recognize that some things are sensitive, you know.
True.
But also that Star Wars is a adventure about, you know, space fantasy and pirates and the Outer Rim and smuggling and bounty hunters and violence occasionally, in the form of cowboy justice, you know.
Exactly. And like, yeah, you already said it. I don't have to reiterate it.
Yeah, it's like the themes of the thing matter as well.
But also Fognog is hilarious, and if nothing else, is definitely a drink that is available. Like you drop a little bit of fog. Oh, what if you do the thing in like really bougie bars where they like turn the glass over on like smoke? Like what if you go outside and like catch a little fog and then you like make the drink and then you pour it in, and that's how you get Fognog.
Fognog. I imagine one of those drinks that like the you know, like the effect of dry ice, you know, like where it's
like
100% fogging out of the glass. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
served in a cloche. Yeah.
This drink comes in a coupe, which is hard to hold, and you're just like, is this right? That feels like right up Madame Hirani's alley. Just like, yes. This needs 13 steps and some egg white.
You know what? I'll just add it to the list of... I'll just add it to the notebook list of like things I can't associate with a location to put them right now, but that should be noted down.
We need to do a really stupid / fun thing of coming up with Madame Hirani's like bar recipes, and we can come up with like an alcoholic and non-alcoholic version
and then
of
like,
some of the drinks that we talk about.
Make them, drink them.
Yeah, and just have like a little.
One of our GM streams is just us drinking alcohol.
All right, I know what we're doing next week.
No, next week is too early. Next week is far too early.
Why?
It's far too early.
We can't do it when we're actually doing game prep. We're going to be so focused.
You're right.
We have like 3 weeks left.
I just don't have that much of a supply to like make drinks out of.
I will mail. I don't know how mailing alcohol works. But
Bunny's response in chat, just like don't do that.
Please don't. We'll tell everyone it's the non-alcoholic one. But there's actually what is it? It's butterfly pea flower, which like turns things purple.
Oh.
And like if we're talking about this being like a purple planet, all I'm actually saying is like I'm gonna order a bunch of that on Amazon, drop it into everything I drink on stream, and be like, this is from Vode, and just drink it on camera.
I mean, I like that you're into it. You know,
I'm very into it. Yeah, GM prep and then cocktail prep.
Yeah, that's
which might have to just be on Elf's channel because
we'll do.
Bunny's gonna get mad at us.
We'll do a side stream on that one. I don't want to cause any problems with our content.
There's so many cheeses. Yeah. Space charcuterie. Let's go.
Somebody made a droid that had the call sign charcuterie in the Discord. Like in terms of the numbers and letters, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I mostly ignored all the weird cheese jokes.
Well, don't worry. Here, this is why there's 2 GMs, because you don't have to. This is where I'm like, yes, this is all mine now.
Yeah, I mean, Aabria can take the wheel on that one.
There's like a
CR2RE, yeah, shark
tutor. That's really good. I like it.
Yeah, the art channel is where you'll find the cheese droid.
Perfect. I will be all up in there.
Okay, cool. Well, I think you said we got 2 hours today, right? So we've only got about like 10 more minutes, basically.
Yeah. Can we do something of just like, hey, y'all, this is an opportunity. Like, we've gotten through the bulk of the content that we wanted to deal with today. Ask questions.
Yeah.
This is your chance. If you're in the Discord,
we got 10 minutes to just like
over here.
Hit us up with something, because we've made it through wildlife and through a bunch of Madame Hirani NPCs, which was my plan today.
Exactly. And we talked about like the mechanics of fog and like how that actually like affects combat and how we can incentivize players to like dabble with this mechanic beyond just like it would be fun for the RP. But yeah, if you guys have like questions or things you want us to think about so we can come back with like good answers. Yeah, this is your opportunity.
Are the players forming character ideas yet? Some of them have like vague concepts of like they want to do this or that, but I don't think they've really looked at the selections in any real like solidified way yet. And I imagine that they probably won't until I'm sitting with them doing it with them.
100%.
Knowing our group. So until session 0, we won't have a lot of good read on like what the player characters are going to be.
True. I have a question for you while we wait for questions from our lovely chat.
Of course.
Are you looking at any, like, Star Wars or not, like fiction for inspiration or ideas?
I'm trying to look outside just the movies. And just the TV series. Like, there's a lot of really great Legends content out there. Like books and stuff. I recently dug up a whole bunch of my older like Star Wars novels, and I'm like pouring through some of the New Jedi Order stuff and what have you. And all I'm really looking for is like acceptable tone and like formerly canonic, because I guess it isn't canonic anymore, but like formerly canonic like creatures or like descriptors or like these kinds of things that are like, oh, well, if it was okay to do this in this book, then I don't feel bad doing it in my Star Wars show. You know?
Yeah.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So there's kind of a lot of that sort of stuff for me. I don't know that I'm looking anywhere in particular for like inspiration. I think we have a very solid basis, and I will say that like I interact with the Discord a lot for my chatter. There are a lot of like, it's like having a whole 50 people, you know, or so like talking about GM stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like the best resource I could ask for.
1,000%.
Am I asking the players any questions to world build around their answers? Aabria, are we asking the players any questions?
You know what? No, I think the biggest goal up top is to have like a big backlog of like, here's like, it always feels good as a GM to start the narrative of like building characters and setting up the table with like, here's the baseline. Here's what the world is like. Now think about the kind of thing you want to play within that. And then after that initial like volley, whatever they come back with, you go like, okay, well now the important thing for me to do as a GM is to like make sure I give you opportunities to do the things you care about and to give you like space for the thing that you've built into your character to shine in any given moment. But also, so then we go through.
But also like giving them that space, within a restriction. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I have built some world for you.
Yeah.
Here is what it is. Make your character with that in mind.
Yes.
Helps with character generation. Like, generally, if you're just like make a Star Wars character, I could make you anything from like Old Republic all the way to fucking, you know, like it doesn't help. You know what I mean? To constrain the sort of like vibe of it. What else we got? We got a couple more minutes. Does Vode have any moons or major space stations in orbit? Yeah, we talked about the space station that we've added, the button or the Utica orbital way station.
Yeah.
Which is for transporting stuff out of there. Without having to land on the old surface of the planet.
I love Pixel Circus.
In order to think outside the box, one must first have a box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure someone at some point will be like, I want to be like a rival, like gang boss. And you're like, no, but I appreciate what you're thinking about. And then you build something that says like, okay, I can't have you like have a game breaking character, but like
if you want to build a gang, I mean,
yeah, if you want to start to do something like that, like here's how we can make that work. But I think that always starts with the GM has to have half of a clue to communicate to the table so the table can like be sparked to give something back. And that's how the collaboration like begins and really like goes hard.
The question, any ideas you saw on the Discord that you haven't made on stream, you think could work, like we'll talk about it later kind of thing. I can't go through everything because there is so much. I'd like more than I ever expected in terms of like stuff that people have contributed to that Discord. And I appreciate every single contribution, meme worthy or not.
Yeah.
But I can't necessarily use them all. And sometimes when I am thinking of something and I need a backlog or I need some details about a character that I need right now, I might grab something from the Discord. You know what I mean? Like when we're doing our GM prep for that week or whatever. And some stuff just like it doesn't hit, or I'm not like entirely into it. I might like it, but it doesn't really work or whatever. Like there's a bunch of that. That's not a judgment on your content, Discord creators.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Me not using it doesn't mean I didn't read it and want to fucking play it. It just like didn't fit in anywhere that I particularly pointed out. Like now that we've talked about wildcat settlements a little bit, there's a whole bunch of ideas that I'm like, oh, that thing in the Discord was like really good, and we could use that for like some like burnout bunker like action if we wanted to.
1,000%. And to Lord Zeron's comment, my goal, my dream of dreams is to figure out how to go about like the Discord is awesome. It's an amazing resource for us as we're building everything together. But I think the ultimate goal for it is to have like RPable content. Like I want to jump in, especially while I'm in player mode and not actively GMing to go like, okay, Elf, you're the on-camera GM, but I'm going to go like mess around with the Discord and like say like, okay, take your characters that you've built and here's something else that's like attached to the Chaos Initiative like series that like they triggered something and here's how we can play it over here and keep doing stuff too.
We're talking the deep dream of a dream, like running concurrent like user involved content. Ooh.
Yo. And then if something breaks out and goes buck wild, like we could be like, okay, hey Elf, did you see what they did on Discord? It's in the world. Like we have to go.
We'll just get a gang of people on Discord who are like playing Utico aligned player characters or something. You know, like oh fuck. You know,
1,000%.
That would be interesting. That's definitely like pie in the sky a little bit because it's like another set of work we have to do. But
I actually really like that idea of like figuring out how Utico or some other like faction wants to respond to things that the player table has triggered by saying like, okay, we're gonna do an RP, we're jumping on a voice call, everyone is playing like a high level Utico person, and we're gonna have just a meeting,
just like a
about what
2 hour board meeting where like we just play the two major villains and have everybody else like
exactly like you're all of our like gangland lieutenants. Did you see what this like little group of fuck ups did in the corner? What are we gonna do about it?
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
It'd be so
you know
fun.
What? We could totally do that kind of content. We could totally do it. Maybe on the weeks where like our GM prep is like pretty solid or whatever, or, like feels good, we could like organize other stuff to like do Discord related things, or you know.
I love that.
Oh
my gosh,
that could be really interesting.
I just want everyone that like has contributed to this and loves it already to feel like they have a chance to play it too.
Yeah, to like be in it. Yeah.
Villain prep.
Yeah, villain prep. Yeah.
And to go along with the question that I asked you that I very unfairly like didn't give you any time to think about, my things out of the gate, I was like, do I go out and watch Star Wars and rewatch it and like try to digest more of that content? And I was like, no, Elf's got this like on lock, and if I need to know specific things, Wikipedia exists.
It's true.
So I marathoned all of The Godfather in a weekend.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, let's talk about high level organized crime and like what how it builds, what those people think about themselves, like how to build structure into like chaotic environments. And like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do some like, now that we've got our little bunker burnouts, I'll probably watch a couple episodes of like Doomsday preppers and just get really weird with it. So like those priorities
I think that's
places.
Great because like we know the Star Wars, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? But like what within the Star Wars do we want to look at is really interesting, and the idea of like I watched The Godfather, you know what I mean? As like an inspiration. I'm into that, and maybe I should follow suit. You know, turn on some Sopranos or something.
I've been slowly watching The Sopranos too. Not my favorite, but like for other reasons. Just Edie Falco is a gift though, so we love it.
So I think that's good. And yes, thank you for linking the Discord.
Thank you.
I very appreciate it. But we're coming up on the end of our time, so I don't.
That's true. Yeah,
you gotta jet.
I'm sorry.
Right?
Gotta drive the other side of town, and it takes 4 hours.
No, it's okay. We burned through content today. I felt like we were on fire. And chat was just like on it entirely. So we'll call it here for today. Aabria, why don't you tell us like where we can find you and in what and so forth?
Sweet. Hi, I'm Aabria Iyengar. You can catch me on social media at Quiddie, Quiddie. In addition to our Monday Rime of the Frostmaiden game and our upcoming Star Wars Desperate Gamble game, you can actually catch me on Fridays over on Pixel Circus's channel playing Failed Save with an amazing crew of silly D&D people at 6 p.m. Pacific. This Saturday, you can actually catch me at noon over on Patrick Rothfuss's channel playing part 2 of A Day of Remembrance, which is a level 20 one-shot with Taliesin Jaffe, Brandon Lee Mulligan. B. Dave Walters is running it. Sage Ryan from Pixel Circus. And I'm missing Anna Prosser. And it's already been so good and so fun. So I'm excited to go back for a little bit more. I've got a Cyberpunk game on Sunday. I don't know if that's streaming or not. I think it is. I'll have details on my Twitter. Sorry for not knowing in advance. Other than that, I have a podcast called Storybenders that gets released sometimes on Mondays. That's about Avatar: The Last Airbender and all of the like themes and narrative devices that like make the show one of the it's a very well written show, and in addition to being very entertaining. And I think that is all of the things to talk about. That sounds right.
That does sound right. Not that I would know off the top of my head, but it does sound right. It's the right amount. Hi, I'm Distracted Elf. You can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf. I do a bunch of video game streaming on my own channel when I am feeling it. Some writing streaming that we didn't write this week because I was sore-throated. I'm also, of course, doing Rime of the Frostmaiden for Roll20 over on D&D's channel on Mondays, and soon to be Fridays here for Desperate Gamble. I say soon to be, it's like the 19th or something. We got a lot.
That's soon.
We got like a couple weeks more GM streams.
It's gonna go so fast.
It is gonna go really fast. Other stuff for me, Twitter will like update you on anything I'm up to, basically. It's the best way. And also join the Star Wars Desperate Gamble Discord. And participate with us, because apparently Aabria has big dreams about Discord participatory integration. So, come and join us for that when we figure out what it is. And also, just pitch me more stuff because I love it so much. Other than that, of course, there's the Roll20. There's the Roll20 stuff. If you like playing tabletop games on the internet, there is no better service than Roll20. You can sign up for free. Go to roll20.net, sign up, and join in the fun on whatever role-playing game you like. There's a lot of D&D content. There's a lot of Pathfinder stuff. There's a lot of all kinds of stuff. And if you want to get really obscure and play Star Wars Edge of the Empire, you can do that as well. So I will see you all next week with this show. Well, I'll see you next week, but this show next week as well. Yeah. And yeah. Am I missing anything? What do you think?
I don't think so.
No? All right, cool. Well, we'll call it there for today. Have a good one, my friends. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you. Bye. Bye, nerds.